A lone figure, a young woman named Sarah, walked along the familiar path, her eyes scanning the horizon. She knew this part of the coast like the back of her hand, having spent countless hours exploring its hidden coves and winding creeks. But today, something was different. A faint whinny, muffled by the dense foliage, reached her ears, sending a shiver down her spine. She pushed through the reeds, her heart pounding. A sight that made her blood run cold unfolded before her. A beautiful chestnut mare, her coat muddied and matted, struggled in the murky waters of a small, tide-locked lagoon. Her frantic whinnies echoed across the marsh, a plea for help. Nestled beside her, a tiny, wobbly foal, barely a few months old, watched with wide, frightened eyes. Sarah's initial shock gave way to a desperate urge to help. The mare, tangled in her own mane, was sinking deeper into the quicksand like mud. She was clearly exhausted, her head lolling as she tried to free herself. The foal, instinctively drawn to his mother, remained close, his tiny hooves sinking into the soft, treacherous ground. Sarah knew she couldn't handle this alone. Grabbing her phone, she dialed the number for the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, her voice trembling as she explained the situation. Within minutes, a team of experienced volunteers, equipped with ropes, shovels, and a calm, reassuring presence, arrived on the scene. The volunteers, their faces etched with concern, approached the mare with measured steps, speaking in hushed tones to calm her. Their gentle demeanor, a stark contrast to the frantic energy of the mare, slowly began to ease her fear. But the tangled mane, knotted around her hind leg, held her captive. The volunteers, with practiced hands, worked tirelessly, cutting away the matted strands with sharp, sterilized shears. The foal, initially filled with fear, watched the unfolding drama with an intensity that belied his small size. He shifted nervously, his brown eyes darting between his mother and the strange figures approaching them. As the volunteers continued their work, his apprehension seemed to lessen, replaced by a cautious curiosity. The mare, sensing the volunteers' intentions, began to relax. The relief in her eyes was palpable. Finally, with a gentle tug, the volunteers freed her leg, the mare collapsing onto the soft mud in exhaustion. The foal, sensing his mother's relief, nuzzled his head against her flank, his tiny body trembling with the release of pent-up fear. The volunteers, their faces alight with relief, continued to monitor the mare and her foal. They administered some water and food. As the tide began to recede, exposing a path out of the lagoon, the mare, her strength returning, stood up. The foal, mirroring her movements, followed closely.